Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those Destiny Cookbook recipe videos. I want to say this is number 16. I can't entirely remember because I've recorded quite a few recently. Anyway, today's recipe is the Skyburner's Oath. Let me get that in better position. At the first Festival of the Lost that I celebrated after the Red War, I served some delicious spiced hot chocolate. A few Guardians stopped by for a mug and shared with me the stories of those that they lost to the Cabal. The Awoken pulled a scout rifle out of his holster and said the weapon, Skyburner's Oath, was the reason he lived to tell the tale of his fallen comrades. But that day, the hot chocolate was exactly what I needed, and he bequeathed it with the same name. This is an easy difficulty recipe with 10 minutes of prep, 20 minutes of cooking. It yields 2 servings, and it does contain dairy. It contains 2.5 cups of milk, 3/4 cups of heavy cream, 1/3 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, a half teaspoon of cayenne, a half teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 chopped ounces of dark chocolate, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and marshmallows, which I've actually already got that part done because that was a previous recipe. I'm sure someone here is going to tell me I need to get a haircut, and you're correct. I'm getting one soon. So, the only major step, it's all combined into one step even though it's technically multiple steps. So, for the first step, we need to combine the milk, heavy cream, sugar, cocoa powder, cinnamon, cayenne, chili powder, and salt into a saucepan and put it over medium to high heat. Oh, it's actually just medium heat for once. That's unusual. So, we're going to start out with 2.5 cups of milk. Most of my remaining milk. So for those of you anywhere else, that's about 650 milliliters of milk. I probably could have made a half batch of this and been fine, but I didn't really think to do that. Now we need 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, which I'm actually going to have to do in this one. Okay, 3/4 cup of heavy cream. Now we need 1/3 a cup of sugar. Okay, 1/3 cup of sugar. I don't know if you guys can see the pot too easily with where it's sitting at right now. A little bit off center, so I'll try to move that. There we go. So now we need to combine in the cocoa powder, of which we need 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to say this is probably going to be really, really good because I love hot chocolate. That being said, I've never made hot chocolate with this many ingredients. So that is going to be different. Like I said, I think I'm going to like it because I love hot chocolate, but this is a lot of ingredients to go into one dish that's going to make basically 2 servings. That is kind of a lot. So now we need a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I'm going to do this over the sink. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Then we need a half teaspoon each of the cayenne pepper and the chili powder. Oh, you know what would be easier? That will be easier because this thing should almost. So it's going to be a spicier hot chocolate. Actually, that's right about half a teaspoon. Perfect. With a half teaspoon of chili powder, which surprisingly I didn't have any of. This is one of the ingredients I actually needed to go out and get for this. That's the only ingredient I'm a little bit more hesitant on in this whole pile of stuff. And now we just need a half teaspoon of salt. Alright, that's all in there. So we're supposed to combine it into a saucepan over medium heat, so I'm going to go ahead and start the stove and mix all of this together Good thing I moved from the smaller pan to this larger one because the smaller one might not fit all this. Alright guys, so the hot chocolate has finally reached a light boil. So at this point we have to add in, ooh, that looks like it's going to overflow. That could be bad. Let's not let that happen. Drop that temperature down just a little bit for the moment. Oh, we almost caught a massive fail on camera, but thankfully it looks like I might be able to stop it for once. So I'm just going to turn the heat down so it doesn't boil over. Now we need to add in the 2 ounces of chopped dark chocolate and the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. 2 teaspoons. Then we dump in the chocolate and we mix it until all the chocolate has melted, which shouldn't take long because now that I actually have a good knife, I can chop stuff a lot better. It's a very high quality knife that actually works very well for stuff like this. I got that chocolate into pretty nicely chopped little pieces. So, now we just stir this until the chocolate is all melted. Turn the heat back up a little bit now that I can watch it and make sure it doesn't boil over. It smells good though. It smells very good, very sweet. And like I said, I'm positive well, I say that, but I'm almost positive I'm going to like this recipe given that the Destiny Cookbook has been so spot on so far. And the fact that I love hot chocolate and most sweet things in general. This is a very complicated version of hot chocolate with a lot more ingredients than I'm used to. Alright guys, that chocolate seems to be melted, so that did not take long at all because, like I said, I got it down into those little tiny pieces. Which is a first for me to actually have equipment that really works well. I mean, it's not the only time it's worked well. I've had other times where I had like the milk frother, but you get what I mean. So guys, I'm going to pour this into a couple of mugs and be back in just a moment for the taste test. Okay guys, so this realistically makes more like 3 cups of hot chocolate, so keep in mind that you could easily make 3 or probably even more cups out of it if you're using smaller servings. Also, I dumped my marshmallows, my homemade ones, into the Midden Squad official Christmas mug from like last year. They didn't float, which was odd. They're, I guess, a little more dense, so they didn't float. The ones in my Clemson mug and my West Virginia camping cup did stay afloat. So, let's give it a try. That is an interesting taste. It's good. Now, don't get me wrong, that's very good. The taste is great. I will say though, the spices, I'm getting the kick of the spices, and I like spicy stuff, but I don't know if it might be just a little bit overwhelming. Like, I would have said use probably about half the amount of spices for this, and you'd probably be just fine because you can definitely taste, I don't know which part of the spices that was, but I can definitely taste it. Regardless though, it still tastes great. Don't get me wrong, it's a great taste. But I would have definitely used less spices. So if I were you guys, I would suggest using about half as many spices unless you just really, really like the taste of whatever I put into it, which was cayenne. What was it? Cayenne, chili powder, salt, and something else. So let's try one with a marshmallow on top. Tastes the same, it's just nice you can actually find the marshmallows in this one. So yeah, I would say this was another very successful recipe. However, I would err on the side of caution and probably use a little bit less spice if I ever made this again. And that is a lot of work to go through just to make a cup of hot chocolate. But it definitely tastes better. Outside of the overabundance of spice, it tastes better than like anything you get in a packet or something. This is definitely higher quality hot chocolate, the kind you might get at like a restaurant as a thing at the end of the meal. You know how some people drink coffee at the end of a meal? This could be sort of the same way, except with hot chocolate, so for kids or whatever, for dessert. So it tastes pretty good, but again, I would say lay off on the spice a little bit. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you haven't already. And I will see you guys back here next time for another video. Okay guys, I'm actually coming back to you guys for one last quick update on this drink. Like I said, the taste is great, but now that it's been a couple minutes, that spice is setting in, and it's definitely a little too much. It is definitely more than you need, so absolutely cut the spices in half, and you will be a lot better off for it. I mean, it still tastes good, but like I said, it overwhelms the flavor of the chocolate while giving you probably a little bit extra spice than what you need. So that's your little warning for this. Cut the spices a little bit.